There are some shows that simply entertain us, and then there are shows that change a generation. For millions of people around the world, Stranger Things was not just a Netflix hit. It became a cultural phenomenon, a reflection of childhood nostalgia, friendship, and bravery. But for the cast who brought it to life, it was much more personal. For them, it wasn't just a project, it was the story of their own growing up. As the world prepares to say goodbye to Hawkins and its beloved heroes, what the cast revealed about their final season is emotional, heartfelt, and deeply human. When the interviewer sat down with the stars of Stranger Things, the first words carried a warm tone of nostalgia. "It's nice when you get to cover a show you're actually a fan of," they said. "I've been with you guys since 2016. Does it feel like a long time ago?" The cast laughed, because for them, it really did feel like a lifetime. Millie Bobby Brown, Noah Schnapp, and Gaten Matarazzo weren't just co-stars. They were kids who had grown up side by side. When the show began, they were barely 10 years old, balancing school lessons with filming, childhood curiosity with fame, and friendship with the pressure of global attention. When asked what they would miss the most about this entire experience, their answer came instantly: each other. It sounded simple, but it carried the weight of every shared memory. Millie smiled and said, "We spent more time together than with our own siblings." Noah, who happens to be a twin in real life, added thoughtfully, "As a twin, you always crave that deep connection, and I found that with Millie from the very beginning. From the second we met, I felt like I had another sibling." Millie laughed, teasing, "I keep saying I'm the triplet. I'm hoping it sticks." Their bond was no act. It wasn't scripted, it was real, and that's why fans connected to it. For them, Stranger Things wasn't just about monsters, secret labs, and the upside down. It was about friendship, loyalty, and growing up together, even when life got scary. These young actors didn't just act side by side, they lived side by side. They celebrated birthdays on set, shared inside jokes between takes, and found ways to stay kids despite the chaos of fame. Gaten Matarazzo recalled how they used to play games to pass time during filming breaks. "During breaks," he said, "we'd play wiffle ball out on the studio lot. That was basically our P.E. 30 minutes of wiffle ball every day." Millie joined in laughing. "They actually did teach me how to play. I became obsessed. And way too competitive. Those small, innocent moments, the laughter echoing across the soundstage, the smell of fake snow in Hawkins, became the memories that defined their youth." Even now, Noah said that he and Millie still talk almost every day. "We see each other all the time," he said proudly. "I just saw her like 2 weeks ago." It's that kind of bond that doesn't fade, even after the lights go off and the cameras stop rolling. Working alongside legendary adult actors was another unforgettable part of their journey. The younger cast spoke fondly of their on-screen parents and mentors, especially Winona Ryder and David Harbour, whose wisdom shaped their growth not just as actors, but as people. For Noah Schnapp, working so closely with Winona Ryder, who played his on-screen mother Joyce Byers, was a masterclass in acting and in life. It wasn't about big, dramatic speeches or lessons, he shared. It was about the little things she taught me, the tips, the tricks, the small habits that stay with you forever. One of those lessons has already become iconic among the cast. "When you're in the background of a scene and your mic isn't on," Winona told them, "just say carrots and peas or rhubarb. It looks like you're really talking." Millie laughed, remembering it. She'd whisper, "Remember, carrots and peas." It was such a Winona thing to do. But beyond the quirky tricks, Winona Ryder became a mentor through her kindness and love for cinema. She shared film recommendations, gave history lessons about old Hollywood, and often showed up wearing vintage movie t-shirts that had their own stories. Millie said, "She's had some of those shirts for 30 years. Each one has a memory behind it. She's so effortlessly cool." Through 5 incredible seasons, those subtle gestures became invaluable life lessons. The younger cast didn't just learn how to act, they learned how to carry themselves, how to appreciate film as art, and how to navigate fame with grace, just like Winona. While Noah had Winona, Millie Bobby Brown found that same mentorship and emotional connection in David Harbour, who played her on-screen father, Jim Hopper. When asked about what her relationship with David meant to her, Millie grew reflective. "It means everything," she said softly. "We play father and daughter, but over time that bond became real. Our friendship, the trust we built, it's so special. That's what I'll remember most." Their bond mirrored that of Eleven and Hopper in the show. Strong, sometimes complicated, but filled with love. When the interviewer asked whether filming with David Harbour felt different, Millie smiled. "Oh, definitely. When I'm with him, I have to put on my big girl pants, but sometimes it's impossible not to laugh. We crack up constantly." David once joked that when they can actually get through a serious scene without laughing, it feels like a huge accomplishment. Their chemistry on screen was natural because it was rooted in genuine affection off-screen. These relationships, between mentor and student, between co-stars turned family, gave Stranger Things its emotional core. When talk turned to the final season, the atmosphere in the room shifted. The laughter faded into silence. Every cast member knew that the end was near, but reading the final script together made it real. "It was so emotional," Millie admitted, "so upsetting. We hadn't read the scripts before. We all showed up and read them together for the first time." The reading began lightheartedly. They brought snacks, they joked, they shared excitement. But as the pages turned, the tone changed. "We started laughing," Millie said. "And then by the end, we were all crying. You could just feel the weight of it." Noah added that he couldn't even drive home afterward. "I sat in my car for half an hour. I just couldn't move. It was so emotional. It hit us all at once that this was really the end." For years, Stranger Things had been their home, their family, their playground. And now, in that final table read, it became a goodbye letter to everything they'd built together. The night before that emotional table read, Noah and Millie decided to do something special for their cast and crew. They went to Michael's, the craft store, and bought charms to make friendship bracelets, one for each of their co-stars and team members. They stayed up late that night, carefully choosing beads and trinkets that matched each person's personality. "We made about 25 of them," Millie said. "It was our little way of saying thank you." The next morning, they walked into the table read smiling, handing out the bracelets one by one. Everyone laughed and hugged, but by the end of that session, as tears filled the room, those same bracelets became symbols of everything they had been through together. They began as tokens of friendship and ended as reminders of a once-in-a-lifetime journey. For fans, Stranger Things has always been about the supernatural, portals, monsters, the upside down. But for the people behind it, the true story was about something much more powerful. Growing up together, finding family where you least expect it, and holding on to the people who make you feel safe in the dark. Over the years, the cast of Stranger Things faced fame, media attention, and pressure that could easily break young stars. But they survived it, not because of luck, but because they had each other. Behind the scenes, they were just kids laughing between takes, learning from their mentors, and making lifelong memories. In every interview, every blooper reel, every fan event, their closeness shines through. And as Hawkins prepares to close its gates forever, that bond remains the heart of what made the show so beloved. The end of Stranger Things is more than just the conclusion of a hit series. It's the closing of a cultural chapter. For nearly a decade, we've watched the kids of Hawkins battle the impossible, face monsters from another world, and grow stronger together. But off-screen, we witnessed something even more magical. Children growing into young adults before our eyes. Millie Bobby Brown became a confident, powerful young woman who has inspired millions. Noah Schnapp found his voice and courage, balancing fame with authenticity. Gaten Matarazzo, with his humor and kindness, reminded fans that joy and resilience go hand in hand. Together, they became symbols of hope and friendship for a new generation. And as they move forward, the lessons of Stranger Things, love, loyalty, courage, and unity, will stay with them forever. One moment from their interview summed it all up perfectly. Someone joked, "Hey, come here. You don't get to write the ending. Not this time. But maybe they already did." Because the ending of Stranger Things isn't written in the final episode, it's written in their hearts, in the laughter shared during filming, in the bracelets made with love, in the hugs exchanged on the last day of shooting, and in the millions of fans who grew up alongside them. As Millie, Noah, Gaten, Winona, and David close this unforgettable chapter, one thing is certain. Hawkins may be fiction, but the love behind it was as real as it gets. And maybe that's the real magic of Stranger Things. Not the monsters, not the mystery, but the kids who turned into a family and showed the world what growing up together truly means.